Today I want to talk to you about being silly and inconsiderate. Look up those words if you don't know what it means. But I'm talking about situations that occur that we think we're ready for, but we're usually not. The part I never understood is that growing up as young, up and coming adults, we believe we have all the answers. As teens, we believe we have all the answers. And then one day, it just clicks. For instance, here's a situation. Kid comes up, says, hey, can I do this? Parent says, no, you can't. Then it leads either to arguments or runaways, you name it. But here, let me hit you with a little bit of on both sides on how it's supposed to occur. Kid comes up, asks for a request, but it's denied, and then giving explanations behind on why it's denied. There is no shouting, there is no pointing fingers. The point is, it is explained. Once it's explained, and the teen or young adult cannot comprehend, there's a thing called silence that occurs. And because the request was not approved, then the parent gets silence. That's all they get. All of a sudden, in the child's mind, we're no longer friends, you're my enemy. And that portion right there, my friends, that's where you're wrong. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you stop talking to one another, right? Because you didn't meet eye to eye. And then something happens, something drastic happens. So for instance, I'm gonna put myself in the teen's shoes, right? I'm upset at my parent. I don't want to talk to them because they're messed up. They don't let me hang out with my friends. I mean, it's only 2 a.m, you know? I want to hang out with my friends. My parents don't understand that. I don't get to hang out with my friends because they work, I work, and I just want to hang out with them at 2 o'clock in the morning. Then something drastic happens and my parent dies because I was being ignorant and self-centered that I didn't want to talk to my parent. Now I'm left with the could've, should've, would've, but I didn't. So, as a parent, if I turn around and don't give an explanation on why the request is denied, then technically I'm feeding half of the information, right? And I understand that some parents are going to say, well, I don't have to explain myself to my child. It's my way or the highway. And you see, in a lot of cultures, all they do is when the kid decides to turn to be a rebel, they just turn their back on them. And you're not supposed to do that because that's your kid. I mean, that's your offspring. You're the one that brought that child to this world. And you're supposed to support your child. But they're inconsiderate sometimes because while they're out and about doing their thing at 2 o'clock in the morning and you have to be at work at 4, guess what? As a parent, you didn't get no sleep. So when I hear parents say that I don't get no sleep because my 2-day-old baby won't be quiet and all they do is cry and they want to get fed, I fed them, I changed them, I don't know what's wrong, and they didn't let me sleep. I'm coming into work with only 4 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep, 1 hour of sleep, 30 minutes of sleep. I understand that because you're a brand new parent. But when you have an adult child living with you, that, my friends, doesn't make sense. What do you need to do at 2 o'clock in the morning? What do you need to do at night? I understand that. We all went through that. You're going to call me a hypocrite because you're going to say, well, you were young and you were probably out and about 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I was out at 2 o'clock in the morning, but guess what? I had my own apartment, I had my own place, and I had my own rules. I started my new kingdom by myself. I was not living under the umbrella of my parents. And this generation nowadays wants to live under the umbrella of the parents with no responsibilities, but wants to go out. So how can you go out? And I'm not saying this is happening, but check yourself before you speak. How can you go out to a club or hang out at someone's home when it's, number one, it's not their home? So whether you're hanging out at the club or hanging out with each other in a garage, this is not your home. It is your parents' home, and you have to be a little considerate that the parents have paved the way to get to that location where they want to be in life. But as a kid, teen, young adult, you want to be part of their fruits and labor that their labor brought. Like, you can't do that. You have to pave your own way. You can't just turn around and walk and talk like an adult, and when the things get tough, all of a sudden you want to dial it back, and now, oh, I'm just a kid. If you don't like mom and dad's rules, it's a simple fix. Get your own apartment. That's all you got to do. Get your own place. And then, only then, you'll have your own set of rules. Other than that, I'm saying, you got to meet each other at the table. You got to speak to one another. And this whole little game about silence, I'm telling you, children, just remember this. Who gave you life? Who's provided you with everything you need to survive in this world? And then all of a sudden you're going to give them the silent treatment? Come on, man, grow up. You can't give. There's an old saying, and it's super old, still applies, and will always apply. Do not bite the hand that feeds you. Think about that one.